Hi everyone! So today I am going to do a tutorial on one of my favorite hobbies, which is rollerblading. And I'm just going to give you like some guidelines, some tips and tricks on how to get started. So basically I kind of want to go over one thing first. There is a difference between roller skating and rollerblading. So roller skating is the one with the two wheels, the front, two wheels in the back with the stoppers in the front. Meanwhile, rollerblading is all the wheels in one line. So personally, I like the rollerblades better. So let me go over some differences in the two. So for roller skates, as you see, two wheels in the front, two wheels in the back. In my opinion, I think that these are better for going to an actual skating rink where you can't really go as fast, and you can do more tricks with these. You can move these around and it changes like how well you can like turn around. I'm not as skillful in these. I just recently got these, but they are definitely a fun thing to do, especially if you're like around here in this area. It's a lot better than just like rollerblading around the park, because you will most likely fall on these if you're rollerblading in the park. Now, rollerblades. So rollerblades, in my opinion, are a lot faster. I feel like it's a lot easier to go faster in these because it's like you're just ice skating if you're just walking. Like your balance is really just on one. Meanwhile, on the roller skates, you have to balance on two wheels. So these are better if you want to skate around the park. If you plan on doing like 10 miles around campus, which is usually what I do, these are a lot easier to stop yourself with. And because with the roller skates, there's stoppers in the front, so you can't really go super fast and try to stop, because then you'll just kind of fly forward. So if you're trying to get like a good workout, like you're going fast, these are your way to go. So I'm gonna go into how to put them on. So before I show how to put them on, I did forget one thing, which are kind of like the basics that you need when you're starting out, just like skating in general. So first is a tire. Maybe wondering, why am I wearing a sweater in Florida when it's really hot out? Wearing your clothes are everything. In my opinion, I'm always covered head to toe, just because I have fallen and I have gotten some nasty scars for not wearing long sleeves. For example, I have a scar here on my elbow when I fell and I was wearing a short sleeve, and so it's been here since summer of 2020. So something to consider. And it's just, if you fall, it will save you. One time I fell really bad and it ripped through my leggings, but I was wearing a very chunky sweater, so it saved me all. Like my whole sweater was just like completely like stained, and it had a bunch of like scratches from the road, but it saved me from getting my whole entire arm like hurt. So that's one thing that you should definitely consider when you're figuring out what to wear. Second is your padding. So later in the video, I'm going to explain how to correctly fall, because that is one thing that you do need to learn, how to fall. So the next thing I want to talk about is padding. So I don't wear a helmet because I have been rollerblading since I was a little kid. I actually have a video of me, which I will insert probably here if I can, of me with rollerblades when I was like a baby. So I've been rollerblading for a while now, so I feel confident enough to not wear a helmet. But like with like skating, I will always wear a helmet because I'm not as skillful. So if you are a little scared of falling, just make sure to get a helmet to keep you safe here. But other than that, you do need padding for your elbows, for your wrists, and then for your knees. The ones that I wear all the time are the knee pads. I used to wear all of them, but then I felt comfortable enough to go rollerblade outside with nothing, and then one time I fell really bad and I messed up my knees. So now I always just wear these. It's not that uncomfortable. They can feel a little uncomfortable, but it's not the worst thing ever. I'd rather wear this than get another scar on my knees. So now I'm gonna go over how to put these things, put these on. So you have to make sure that you get the right size for yourself, because if not, then it won't cover your knee at all. They're fairly simple to put on. You just get this side, and there's a Velcro on this side, and then you just stick it onto here, and voila, you have your knee pads on. And then for the wrist guards, there's a bottom part that has like a little cup. So the little cup part is where your under of your palm will go, and there's a little hole here, so you can't, it is easy to follow. There's malfunction with the light. So this is how it would be done. You have the bottom part here, it kind of like shapes your wrist, and then you just tighten it as to what you feel most comfortable in. And this is to make sure that you don't like break your wrist or anything if you fall. Now, I usually put this on after I put on my skates because it is hard to put that on. So I'm just gonna put this one on, and I'll put my skates on. Here we have my skates. I always recommend wearing socks that are high, or leggings and then long socks, because it is uncomfortable right here around the edges if you don't have any like clothing on there. So if you're wearing shorts, wear some long socks with them so it doesn't annoy you. So you just slide them on. There's different like compartments here. So this is to tighten it, to make sure everything's like set in and your foot isn't wiggling around. So you just put it on like a normal shoe, and let me move over to this side, and then you tie your shoe to the it's already tied. Once you like do this all the time, your foot kind of like it never changes. The only thing that you ever really change is just this right here. So my shoe's already tied. I tighten this Velcro, and then this part right here is to make sure it doesn't move around your ankles. So you just tighten it to what feels most comfortable, and there you go. You have your skates on. Okay, so the first thing to learn is learning how to balance yourself. So when it's your first time on these skates, you do feel a little wonky because you're not used to being on skates, obviously. So one thing that helped me is just practicing my balance. So you can go on grass and just kind of get accustomed to being on a line of skates, and then we can do little exercises like this. So I'm going to back up and show you ways that you can kind of like learn to keep your balance. So if you're not on grass, the one way to do this is to hold onto a railing and just kind of hold your foot up, so you kind of get strengthen your core. You're engaging your core, trying to keep your balance, and you just kind of wait here for a little bit, and then you do the other leg. So you're kind of learning how to stand alone without needing both legs, which kind of helps you balance out, because you are going to have to lift up your legs one at a time when you are skating. So this helps in that aspect. The next thing that is very important to learn is learning how to fall. This was one of the first things I ever learned, just because if you do have to fall, you don't want to fall on your shoulder, on your back, and hurt something, because it's not protected by one of these or by your shoulder, your knee pads. So I'm going to explain a way that I learned how to fall, which has helped me a lot in my years of rollerblading. If you feel as if you're going to fall, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put your arms out. I know that's not how, like, our instinct is not to put our hands out if we fall. But if you have these wrist guards on, it will help you not hurt anything else. So, let's say I'm going to fall. I put my hands out first, and then it stops me, and then my knees go and hit the floor. But since I have the knee pads, they're not going to harm me, so it's not going to feel like anything. So we're going to try it again looking this way. So let's say I'm going to fall forward. I'm going to fall, and then my knees are going to hit the floor. So as you can see, no harm. My hands are fine. It is a little bit more difficult when you are moving, but as long as you put your hands out first, you usually hear a little which is like causing friction. I obviously have a lot of scuff marks here from the times that I have fallen, but that just helps you kind of gain strength and balance here, and then the rest of your body falls down with you. It's better to fall forward than falling backwards because you can really hurt your butt and your back if you fall incorrectly. So that's one important thing to know before we actually start skating. Now we're going to go on to skating. So the one thing that I have to say is always pick your feet up. When I used to rollerblade when I was younger, I never picked up my feet. I would just drag my feet like this. And it wouldn't let me go fast. My feet would be hurting by like hour one. And it's just gonna hurt you. It's not gonna benefit you, it's gonna hurt you. So that's why we started off with learning how to balance, because in order to skate properly, you have to pick up your feet. So I'm gonna show you a demonstration here of me rollerblading away, and you're gonna see how I lift up my feet. When you're starting off, the more dramatic it is, the better, because you kind of get an understanding of how you have to pick up your feet. So here we go. So as you can see, while I was rollerblading, I picked up my feet, and you also have to move your feet out towards the side. So that's what gets you the momentum on actually rollerblading. Because if you just pick up your feet, you're just walking. Which honestly is a little tip for beginners. It's just pretend like you're walking, but you're putting a little kick to the end. So that is my little tutorial on how to move forward. Now, this is for a little bit more advanced people. I still haven't mastered it, but it is rollerblading backwards. So just to run down on how to rollerblade backwards, you have to be aware of your surroundings in the back, and just because you don't want to hit anyone. And basically you have one foot, usually for me it's my left foot that's just like standing still, it's usually chilling. And then your right foot, you're gonna be mainly on the first wheel. You're gonna be mainly on the first front wheel, because it's gonna help you give more mobility to do the whole squiggly pattern. So I'm gonna show you guys on how I rollerblade backwards. As you can see, I have not mastered it. I did fall, and you were able to see that I put my hands out first, and it helped me from not hurting anything else. I'm completely fine. That's just the sport. You usually are very likely to fall, especially if there's little bumps and little rocks. So you just always have to make sure to have these on and know how to fall. And the last thing I want to teach is learning how to brake. So for me, the best and easy way to brake is by using the brake on the back of your right foot. So what it does is creates friction between the floor and your skate and your brake, which slows you down. It doesn't stop you completely, which good thing it doesn't, because you would fly if you get stopped completely. But the harder you first start off a little bit gently hitting the ground, and then as you get to the point that you do want to stop, you press a little harder on the back of your foot. So basically, this is your foot, and you have to lift up your foot in order to get the brake to hit the ground. And that is basically all you need to know to get started on rollerblading. I do recommend the Rollerblade brand. In my opinion, they're the smoothest, and they are the best for beginners. They're only $100. It's quite it is a little of an investment, but if you use them every day, if you use them at least once a week or once a month, they are worth it. You are usually allowed to bring them into the roller rinks, so that's one good thing about rollerblades, because you can bring them in the roller rink and not have to have roller skates. But yeah, I hope this video helps and inspires you to pick up rollerblading. Bye!